Atkinson, with Kieran, Molyneux, with Grace Mailey and with Shaun O'Donnell to talk about Liverpool, how great they were yesterday against Tottenham, been on Plymouth and also looking ahead to the Merseyside Derby, because Shaun, right now, what a football team. They were great last night and they just took no nonsense from minute one. Tottenham didn't throw much at them, but whatever they tried to throw at them, they just didn't get very far. For me, Liverpool just steamrolled them.
They did, and I think it's very rare you get a game that what everyone's expecting to happen happens.
Yeah.
So, and I think I was a little bit nervous just because it felt so obvious. Do you know what I mean? Like, I was thinking about the atmosphere and thinking Anfield's never at its best when it's the team expected to do something. It's almost like we need something to get us going, to get everyone doing. And even though we were 1-0 down, it still felt like, oh, we're just going to roll them over. Yeah. And that's what happened. So it's it's crazy.
The mad thing about it for me, sort of living through the game, was at all stages I was like, well, we're all right here.
Yeah.
The only time I had even a slither of concern was when it was almost too easy at 2-0. I just thought I was doing a bit of a sting in the tail here. Yeah. Apart from that, I just watched them, and about 5 minutes before they scored, there's the disallowed goal, and I thought, well, we're going to score in a minute then, one will count, and then we do. And then second half, I was thinking, well, we come out the traps, we look great, we'll get something in a minute. We do.
And we did, yeah.
They're just playing so well. It was almost difficult to pick a man of the match last night. They were all that good.
And it's testament to the manager, I think. I think the way the manager's got them all playing, the way he's got them set up, it just feels smooth, doesn't it? It feels like you shouldn't be going into a semi-final when you're 1-0 down, thinking like we're just going to roll them, it's just going to be easy.
And I think the players are feeling that now. I for the first time last night, well, not the first time, but I noticed it last night, they were enjoying themselves big time, and they were enjoying themselves in second and third gear last night. There was times where they thought, you know, we're 2-0 up here, I just said, we're not going to start sprinting around the pitch. That's when the one-touch passes started, and Bradley's little layoffs into Salah and stuff like that. They were really enjoying themselves, and that's good for what's about to come in the games that are about to come, because I'm not saying it's clicked, the cliche, it's clicked, but it's been great all year, but something last night was like, this is a football team now.
Yeah, I was just going to say, like, the one man that epitomises it all was just, I thought, Van Dijk last night.
Oh.
I just felt like just every single second, every single thing that he does, and it always is. But I think in last night's complete performance, if you want to call it that, he just used class. He just led it from the back.
You've seen the video where he goes to help Richarlison up and then he goes, "Nah, you're all right," and walks off.
It's the best thing I've seen.
I've had this conversation before, and I've said it a few times, but there is a genuine debate. Is he Liverpool's best ever footballer? Is he Liverpool's best ever player? Has anyone ever been that consistent, that good, and had that many wins when he's on the pitch?
And that much better in his position than anyone else. I think the thing about watching him last night, Grace, was he stopped everything that they wanted to do, but also he was dictating the tempo of our play. He was a playmaker from the back. He was running the game while simultaneously being the best defender on the pitch. He is such a great footballer.
And also in terms of being a captain, like, he shouts all across the pitch, you can hear him from everywhere you are, but the thing that got me last night was, in the first half, there was a time and Spurs had a chance and we got quick out the blocks, like, straight away. And that was because Van Dijk was shouting at everyone, get up, get forward, like, have a go. And that's what you want to see from a captain. Like, he's defensively solid, but also he knows how to dictate play, and that's exactly what he did. I think Núñez last night was really impressive. Like, he was leading everything, he only won us the penalty, but he was everywhere, and he looked up for it, and he looked like he was enjoying himself, which Núñez gets so frustrated so easily all of the time, and for him to look like he was having a good time was like, you know what, he's had so much stick, just let him have a great game, and he did, and he was everywhere.
It was a shame he didn't get a goal. There was where Gakpo hits the post, he could roll him in and he just have a tap in from there. But I think I loved Grace was he puts a really good one on the plate for Szoboszlai first half, which Szoboszlai should take first time, and he doesn't. But it felt to me as though his link-up play I think has been better than people think this season, but not loads of it around the penalty area. Yesterday, I thought around the penalty area, this link-up play was spot on.
Yeah, some of his passes across the pitch were excellent yesterday, and you know, he's been known to miss easy chances. He's missed a fair few sitters, and everyone's on his case. I have said multiple times on pods that I don't like him, but last night he was brilliant. And again, he's creating those chances for people. He's not just thinking, I'm going to go myself here when he knows he's going to miss. He's looking for other players, which when he first come in, Núñez wasn't doing that because he was so selfish and he wanted to score every goal. Whereas now I think he's kind of realising like he can be a part of something as well as score the goals himself.
The Szoboszlai performance yesterday, Shaun, it's good to see the guile allied with the graft. And I thought that, again, it's not like one's compromised. There's so much hard running still all the way through the game. you know, those Spurs midfielders, and I think he goes for a robust midfield, Bentancur, Basuma, Sarr. Doesn't matter, lads.
Yeah,
he's
exactly,
he's going to run all over you regardless, but there was so many lovely touches, lovely moments, and I was made up he got his goal.
Yeah, I think he's been unbelievable in the last few games, and it's mad in one season to have so many stars of the season. Yeah. It's like you got a star of each chapter, and he's like the star of this chapter, isn't it? Yeah. That's what it's like. And he's been brilliant. I thought last night, again, I'm glad he got his goal. I mean, he gets the disallowed one as well, which is, it is offside, but what a move that is, what a goal that is.
Oh, it's a great move.
It just feels like he's in class at the moment, and it's great to see, and he especially, because he puts the graft in and he looks, he's got the flair, he looks like that guy. It's good to see the other side come off it with the goals and stuff.
Slots praises him so much as well. You notice in the post-match, he talks about Bradley and he says, he does this great, but he can do this better. He always says something about a player when he's praising him, but Szoboszlai lately, he's just been raving about him. He plays the way his performances, his work ethic. I think he's got another 2 or 3 levels to Szoboszlai. I think we were looking at a potential real world-class midfielder inside the next 6 to 12 months, because as you say, the work ethic's there, the performances are now starting to come, the numbers are starting to come, and for me, he's been our best midfielder, as you say, for the past few weeks. It was Gravenberch at the start of the season, McAllister's had his chapter, hasn't he? But past few weeks, Szoboszlai's been unbelievable.
He's there. The other one who's there, and there's so many good opening goals or equalising goals is Gakpo. Yeah. And you can't put a premium on that, I think. It's one thing to pad your numbers out scoring the 3rd, the 4th in a comfortable victory, but to score the key goals matters, and Gakpo's there again yesterday, and at the minute, again, he just looks like he's enjoying his football to such an extent.
He shows an incredible level of skill, Cody Gakpo, and his confidence is just growing and growing. Like, he had a lot of I thought when he came in, I was like, don't know what he's got. Yeah, I wasn't seeing anything straight away, but it takes time to adapt. He's now got a Dutch coach. He's clearly growing in confidence. He's starting more games. He's playing more games. He's scoring more goals, and essentially that's what you want to see from him. I think there's been periods of time where when Jota was injured, you were going, who's going to be the person to score us those goals? And Cody stepped up to the mark in somewhere where I think he needed to, really. And it's good to see, but also that he's enjoying his football. Again, you can see it in his face. He's having a great time. Like, the celebration and everything, it was just, you could see that he's using confidence, and all that's going to do is encourage him to score more goals.
There's a thing with this. They're now in a final. You're looking forward to it?
I am really looking forward to it. I must admit, Newcastle don't scare me, but it is quite a thing to be playing Newcastle in a final, I think, because I was in London when they were in the final last time, and like, it was like a European Cup final to them. It was crazy, and like, it's something that it's quite rare we come up against somewhere where we're going to Wembley. And I'm not saying that they're going to be better or have more than us in the stands, but they'll certainly test us.
Yeah.
They'll certainly test us.
They're going to be all in for it. They're going to be in for the enjoyment of it, and it means so much to them because it's been so long since it's trophy. So I think that's what you want. I think it's good for the competition. I think it's good for the general vibe of it. Is like winning that final. It'll feel like, that's a big win. That, you know what I mean? It won't feel if it had been a Chelsea again, and if it was Arsenal, it'd feel like it was mired in the league stuff somehow. Whereas this makes it feel like it's its own thing, and it should be a great day that we can very much enjoy. We will go into it as favourites, but as you say, they pack a punch.
They do, and they're a much better team than Spurs. I think that's the first thing you want to say. It's weird, the League Cup lately, and I'm not just saying this because we've won it a couple of times. It does feel like bigger and better than the FA Cup, in my opinion. I feel like the semi-finals, I mean, particularly the Arsenal Newcastle semi-final the other night, that felt red hot. That felt like a serious semi-final where you're watching it and going. And I know last night was a bit of a formality for us, but this competition, it just feels a bit different, particularly these last stages now.
Do you feel as though it's a bit like the FA Cup? It feels almost a little bit, and this can sound harsh, we're going to talk about Plymouth in a minute, like it almost just gets in the way a bit. Whereas because the League Cup, a lot of it takes place in the early part of the season, and it's an opportunity, you know what I mean? Like, it's almost a bit like...
If you're going to go for the FA Cup, you know that towards the later rounds, it's going to affect your league position or your European position, because you're going to have a lot of games. Whereas if you want an extra cup instead of one of the big ones, you can get it done in February, you can get it done in March, and maybe that's what's attracted to teams. I love the League Cup, you know, and I have this debate in the early rounds with my mates who just go out, who gives a shite, you know what I mean? I'm like, nah.
Well, look, the reason why I like this, I'm alright with going out. Like, I'm like, I probably agree with your mates, but what then happens, like, every year, there's a game on the moment where suddenly I'm like, I'm all in.
I know that's coming. I'm trying to tell you, just chill, because you're going to get hooked. It's the League Cup, it's great, you know what I mean?
And I like that it throws hope throws up, unlikely heroes as well, or unlikely moments where they come from nowhere, as I say, like suddenly and
Keller scoring pens.
Well, Keller scoring pens last year with the young players, you know, and what it turned into and how important it became for everyone involved with the club.
And this one's the same. This is Slot's first final.
Yeah,
it's a Slot's first final.
That's a big thing, actually.
I
was thinking about that before.
Slot's first final.
The first final in a season's always big, though, I think.
First time
especially in this occasion, but that's what I quite like the League Cup, but that is because if you win that trophy or you're in that final, that gives you motivation for every other competition that you're in.
I've never seen a team in the League Cup and then have a bad few months after it.
I mean, it must have happened, but I can't
No,
think
we've probably done it. Exactly.
Yeah, but we know
meme, but you know what I mean? It definitely does the team good, and it'll do this manager the world of good going into the title race, going into the European Cup.
The good thing about it now is when it falls, because what we know when it falls, it means we've got a busier February, but in a really weird way, Keo, I'm almost like, I'm a bit on board for that at the minute. The appetite they're showing, we'll talk about the derby in the context of Plymouth in a second, but the appetite they're showing, I'm a bit like, yeah, bring on Everton, that's a midweek game, then Wolves, okay, sound, then bring on Villa, bring it forward, bring it on, let's do it now. You want to do it now, let's do it now, get Villa out the way, get City out the way, let's go. That's the way I sort of feel. They've ended up with so many away games in a compressed period, but it hasn't damaged our title challenge yet, and if anything, I feel at the moment, the way this team is at the minute, weirdly, February could be the best month to
Not even just the team, did you see that bench? Like that bench last night, like, I'm not scared of anyone. I'm not scared. You give us 4 games a week. Give us 4 games a week. Like that's
4 games a week.
Squads. Honest.
8 days a week. I was just listening to Slot in his press conference this morning. I think he thinks like that as well. So he asked them about, you know, is there any like negative from what's happening? You've got to play Villa now, like in this such a short space of time, Villa away. And he was like, no. He said, you know, we want to be playing these games. You know, this is to be competing in all competitions means we're going to have to be playing these games. So we want it. He is in that bring it on mode.
I think he's just all the way through. His attitude has been bring it on, but it's not just been bring it on. It's been grace. Bring it on, but we're Liverpool, so it's got to be the highest level.
Yeah.
Everything we do has got to be the highest level, and that's again he's putting that out today when he's doing his press conference with an eye on Plymouth. He'll make a ton of changes. We'll talk about them in a second, but his attitude really is. No, if we want to be Liverpool, being Liverpool means you get asked to do things that don't happen anywhere else. If you want to be at Liverpool, you've got to want to be the best in everything you do at every stage. And I love that attitude from him. And you know, last night is the product of him having that attitude since the day he's turned up.
Yeah, and I don't know about all of you, but I've just got this level of calmness with Slot. He doesn't seem to stress. Everything is so level-headed. We're not like living every minute on emotion.
They're just games of footy.
Yeah, and like it's calm. And I don't know if you heard it, the bit in his press conference where he said like he thinks a player should also have the time to be a husband, be a dad, be at home. The night before a match they're at home, they're not in a hotel because people sleep better in their own beds, and like that culture around they've also got to be human to some extent.
I thought that was quite bold actually when they asked him about the old regime. He was like, I see them as human beings as well, as if like Jürgen didn't. Like the most humanitarian manager of all time. You know what I mean?
I kind of see what he's getting at, because in a way, like I'd have a better night's sleep if I was in my own bed than if I was in. You know what I mean? So like he's thought, well, actually to get the best out of them, they need to be happy at home as well as in work, and then that's like what's enabled them to do the best. But also, the mad thing to me is it's not rotated anywhere near as much as what we did last season, and we're in this position.
I think he's handled the minutes unbelievable.
Yeah, really well.
Whether it's people who've played too much or whether it's people coming back from injury, I can't remember us being ran this, but the squad being ran this well at all. And on your point, I mean, I said this before, people will start talking about 4 trophies eventually because we're still in for 4 trophies. I don't want to do it just yet because they've already got enough greys off the past couple of years, but I think this manager has a better chance at 4 trophies than Jürgen did in 2022. I think this team's better than 2022. I think he's calmer and less emotional than Jürgen, and if any manager can do it, I've got a feeling it might be Arne Slot.
Could be Arne Slot in year 1.
Yeah.
What if he then just packed in?
I'd let him.
I'm packing in. Yeah. So do what you want.
Mic drop over and out.
Oh well, that'll do. I'll crack on. I'll go do something else. Like something becomes the
cricket podcast.
Yeah. He's the world's best vet.
Win a power
If anybody wants to listen, we are with Erdinger. We are in Nova Scotia. It is a pleasure. It is Friday night. It is an actual Friday as well because they played Thursday and they're playing Sunday against Plymouth Argyle. We're going to talk about that in a minute or two. First and foremost, though, we'll cut over to this and we'll see you back in a second.
And Erdinger, please. don't forget the best bit.
We are back, and it's the Friday night. It's Neil Atkinson in Nova Scotia. It is with Erdinger. It is a pleasure to partner with them week in, week out. They'll be there for us, and we're there for them as well. Absolutely adore the stuff. Grace, Plymouth, 4th round of the FA Cup. They are 24th in the Championship. It's worth pointing that out. They've got a big game midweek themselves. We can think we've got a big game at the Merseyside Derby. They're fighting for the lives at the bottom of the Championship. I think it's going to be a little bit of a funny one on Sunday. I don't think that Plymouth necessarily play their first 11.
No.
And I think the Liverpool manager could make, we talked about him managing minutes before, he could make 8, 9, 10 changes. I think there's every chance of that, but we're still expecting to be excited by the team. I'm looking forward to seeing McConnell. I'm looking forward to seeing Elliott. I'm looking forward to seeing Chiesa. And it wouldn't surprise me if Darwin Núñez goes again.
Yeah, Chiesa needs to do something for me because I was not impressed with him after like his first couple of games.
You enjoyed him at PSV? You
I
sat
did
next to
enjoy
me.
him at PSV, yeah, fair, but before that I wasn't impressed.
No, you weren't.
I think McConnell.
I thought you were mean whilst
I
watching him
am.
at PSV.
I am
You were
quite mean.
genuinely quite
feel hurt,
passionate.
personally.
Yeah.
I love Chiesa.
No, I do now. I didn't.
Yeah, the PSV game's a bit of a turning point for
He
him.
hasn't got to play. He's just got to, he's just got to run on when we score, and I love him. Yeah.
McConnell was really impressive against PSV, so I would like to see him start. I think this is the game where he rotates more heavily than what he has done because you can afford to do that. And well, there is a Merseyside Derby next week, so it's one of those where you just think you don't ever want to disrespect the cup. Like, forget where
I'm all right with
we're.
disrespecting it a bit.
I'm all right with going a bit weaker, considering what else you're playing for. But I still think, well, Plymouth will make a fair few changes because they need to because of their league position and what's coming up for them. But for us, it is a case where you want to give the players that haven't played as much the minutes because it is so much harder to chuck them in and make them do really well for us when they haven't had any minutes. So this is your opportunity to go, right, okay, let's kind of rip it up. He won't rip the full thing up because he never does, but he might rip. 8 changes, I reckon.
Well, they ripped it for PSV.
I was about to say,
Yeah.
it's similar to PSV, isn't it? Where you can afford to make as many changes as you want because it's obviously doesn't matter. This is slightly different because the opposition is less. But in my opinion, Liverpool should be able to make as many changes as they want and beat Plymouth.
Yeah.
Whatever team Plymouth put out, whether it's the first team or whether they best players, Liverpool should be able to make as many changes as they want. And the good news is anyone who comes in, I said this for the PS on a show for the PSV, anyone who comes in now in a game like Plymouth or a game like PSV, is not playing against Plymouth or playing against PSV. They're playing for a place in the European Cup, playing for a place in the league title, they're playing for a place for medals, you know what I mean? So no matter who you change, whoever comes in, the level should still be there and we should be beating Plymouth.
I think I agree with that absolutely. I think, you know, he's got so many quality options. Joe Gomez hasn't been able to make a bench, but we've been told he's fully fit.
Yeah.
I'd love to see him get a full run out for 90 minutes, get himself back in as part of that recovery. You know, you can look at it right the way through the side. Endo's not letting anyone down when he's got on the pitch this season. McConnell, I'm excited by that. Elliott, that could be a midfield 3. That's a strong midfield 3, and it still gives him options going into Everton. Maybe McAllister and Jones travel and they get a bit of time because. But the point being there is, you know, Endo, McConnell, Elliott.
Fine with that.
You look forward to seeing that, don't you?
Yes,
So if
I'll
someone
start
says-
that in the derby.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I don't actually think he'll go super weak.
No, he won't.
Because I think
he
that,
won't.
like, I mean, we all know the rhythm arguments, so let you park that for a second. Just going what he's done previously, he hasn't really got PSV aside. When we know that was a dead rubber, do you know what I mean? There was nothing really in it. We were first or second, weren't we? So there was no difference to if we were the one that came on.
You wouldn't have Salah, Van Dijk or Gravenberch travel though, would you? You maybe just let them.
Yeah.
I think you let Van Dijk travel purely for the captaincy aspect of it.
I mean, if it was me or you doing it, I think you just leave them on the couch. But I reckon with him, like as I say, I think he likes this continuity, and it's still a knockout tie. Do you know what I mean? He's a professional. He wants to win and all that type of thing. I think it'll be stronger than we think, but I still think he'll make the changes that you expect to see. I don't think it'll be wholesale changes at all.
How many changes do you think then?
11. So I mean, quickly go back to front of it. I think the goalie probably stays from last night.
Yeah.
Then Keller stays in.
Bradley stays in.
Bradley stays
Yeah.
in. Simicast comes in. doesn't he?
Quanta?
Yeah.
Quanta?
Yeah.
Quanta Gomez.
Quanta
Gomez.
No, I think Van Dijk.
I don't think Gomez starts.
I think Van Dijk. Van Dijk Quanta. I think he'll play Van
I
Dijk.
think Gomez comes on, but I don't think he starts.
Yeah.
Okay.
So-
Midfield.
Midfield, I think McAllister, Elliott, Endo.
So you really but this is where I would be a little bit not take issue because at the minute we love the manager.
Yeah.
But I feel a bit like if you're not going to let McConnell go out on loan,
Yeah.
he's got arguably. He could start this. He could start the 5th round of the FA Cup. I just don't know when he's getting his next start.
McConnell's played. McConnell should play. As you say, what's the point in keeping hold of him, not letting him go out on
But he
loan
did
if
say
he
though
can't play for
today
Plymouth?
in the press conference that it was maybe because Tyler Morton's injured.
Yeah.
And Tyler Morton's out for a bit. And maybe the other argument is you'd expect Tyler Morton to start. So I can understand it. I just can't see him playing. I mean, maybe he will, but I just don't think he will.
Okay. But do you think we get Chiesa?
Yeah, I do. Especially when he done the 90.
Yeah.
And then he's kept him out because he played 90. Basically, he's fit, he's fine. We're not. There's no chance of putting him in the squad twice in a week at the minute.
Yeah.
So yeah, Chiesa plays. Probably Nunes, isn't it? Probably Nunes. And then again on the left-hand side, you can pick either of them and give them an half each if you want.
I think Ugo Mo might get involved. Plays the first.
Do you know what he does actually? He plays the first
and
game.
he couldn't pick him at PSV because he couldn't put him on the squad list. So I wonder if he's going to be there or thereabouts. I think they want to show him he's got an opportunity to get into the first team.
That's the right shout. That's what'll happen. Yeah, that's what.
And you can always take him off. You can give him 60 and bring Diaz on. Yeah. I wonder if Gakpo doesn't travel again the same way Diaz travels. Gakpo doesn't maybe because he's played a lot of games recently. Gakpo. And he plays at PSV as well.
It's two of the things that you always expect Gakpo to get arrested and he just starts.
Bang, sounds, all the best.
Gravenberg's the worst. Gravenberg, when he plays, he just seems to play him all the time. You think, there's no way he's going to play Gravenberg tonight.
Straight in there.
There's points around though when you get to the point of the season where training's playing and playing's training.
Yeah.
And I think historically, I've always felt that's March, April, May. But maybe it's just becoming a bit earlier, Grace, that at this point now, because it's worth saying that if the lads, they're playing Sunday, the game's Sunday, those who play, Monday's a recovery day.
Yeah.
So Tuesday then's your day when you're prepping for the derby.
Yeah.
So, but the point being is that they might not even be able to be training on the Monday really. So
There's
if you're
no
not,
time, yeah.
so if you're not playing on Sunday, then how do you keep your rhythm? How do
And
you keep
Tuesday
your body?
you're doing more shape stuff and set piece stuff against the opposition, so it's not really full.
So maybe it is the idea. We'll just play them then and just keep them ticking.
Yeah, but the other thing is, you talk about rotation, but these players are training with everyone who starts in our first 11 in a Premier League game every day of the week, so they're learning from the best people they could possibly learn from. It's not a weak lineup by rotating 8 players because we've got the class to do it now.
Exactly.
Whereas we never used to have that. You used to look at our bench and go, well, who's going to come on here? Do you know what I mean? We're now at a point where there's plenty more options.
To get through Sunday, Everton played Bournemouth on Saturday. I don't think Everton can make that many changes, and I don't think that they should. That could be the last ever cup tie at Goodison Park, for instance, if they don't go through. And Bournemouth are a good size, KO. So they've got one more day's rest, recovery, preparation in Liverpool, but they should have to go stronger, in my opinion. Everton might not be Tony's opinions or David Moyes', my opinion. Back Derby on Wednesday night, biggest game of our lives.
Yeah, it's up there, isn't it? It is up there. And you know what, like I say, we've won after last year, like big time. I want to go there and bounce out singing we won the league at Goodison Park, not hearing it the other way around, you know what I mean? I feel like it's that type of fixture where there's moments in seasons, isn't it? There's Leicester on Boxing Day, there's moments, at the minute we're all starting to really believe, we're all starting to feel it, we're all starting to look at it and go, well, we are in front here and we are the best team in Europe here. But there's going to be a moment, there's going to be a win where something happens and you come out and you know, yeah, it is, it's on, and that's when
I would argue it's the biggest game of their lives. So I think the biggest game of our lives is a stretch because, you know, we've seen some pretty big things. I think for...
Will the City be standing on Thursday morning, Shaun? That's what I want to know. Will it just slip off into the sea?
I mean, I'm nervous, I'll be honest, because it is the biggest game of their lives. I think that you know, last derby at Goodison, but like this is all they've got really as like anything to play for the season. They're going to stay up, so they're not going to be in a dogfight for it.
Damage to Liverpool now, isn't it?
Exactly. So this is the biggest thing they can possibly do with Moyes night game. But what that does do, that makes the win a lot sweeter if we were to get it. And if it's to play them off the park and get a considerable win, then the City will not be standing on Thursday morning.
Are you genuinely how up for this? I can't wait for it.
Oh, listen, the most I've been up for a derby like ever. I'm super up for it, and so we should be. Do you know what I mean? The way we're playing, I'm just quite nervous that it is such a big deal to them. But having said that, it's always a big deal to them, isn't it?
How are you feeling about the Merseyside Derby? The 738th Merseyside
It's like a grudge match. That's the way I'm seeing it. I want to be able to say to all the Evertonians in our family, like you went on about the fact that we lost the league against you, and now look.
By the way, it wasn't, it was Crystal Palace, but anyway.
I mean,
that's what they all say.
And we know that, but like for them to be able to even suggest it, done my kind of thing, you know what I mean? Like,
But the other thing is...
But also it's their right.
And they wanted to do my head in by doing it.
I'm fine with it, it's their right. As I say, I had some lads sing at me when I was earlier in the year. I didn't know them, but I was absolutely, they just saw me and recognised me from doing all this. But I was made up in a way. I was a bit like, yeah, go on lads, you have a great time, because it should mean everything. And that's what you want, so it should be a massive game, and this is a massive game.
Them getting Moyes as manager has given them a kick up the arse to be like, right, okay, this is what we want. We want to leave Goodison Park with Moyes, arguably their best manager in the last however long. So they've got so much confidence going into it that I would love to be able to just beat them and be like, nah, we're still the better team in the city. Do you know what I mean? And there comes a point where it's all of that emotion. It's the last one at Goodison. They're with Moyes. They're on this wave of they've had some good results. They could beat Bournemouth, although I think it's quite unlikely. And then you get to a point where they've got us and they've done their research. They know how we play, and then they just want to whack everything at it. Goodison's not a nice place to go to, but I still think it's in our favour. I'm just not as confident as what I have been in previous seasons.
16th versus first.
Exactly.
That's mad when you say it like that.
Just another game. Just another game against a crap team, and we've got to push them aside, and they're standing in the way, our way of a title, and we need to treat it like that. Do you know what? I love beating them. I love going there. Even though last year I had a nightmare, I used to get dead nervous over derbies, and then something happened for like 10 years where we just bladdered them every single time we played them, and I just don't feel it anymore. Last year was a nightmare, obviously, but
it's a horrible place to lose games.
It's a horrible place to lose games, and it hurts.
It's a low ceiling, it clashes down.
It does hurt when you do it, but it doesn't happen very often, and we've been more lucky than we haven't there. The David Moyes thing, if he's got half a brain, so after getting 3 wins on the bounce, he wouldn't even be going at Liverpool. There'd be a 5-10 minute spell where he does it, but Liverpool should have a lot of the ball, and with Liverpool at the ball, the minute is just a joy to watch. So like, good luck everything, you know what I mean?
Kieran Molyneux's comments to any dressing room wall you like. Theirs, ours, yours. Put it in your bedroom wall, print them out, get a transcript, go from there. It's been the Friday night with Erdinger in the run-up to a game against Plymouth Argyle, and then the biggest game of our lives after we've just swept Tottenham aside. This is what we're all about. 16th versus first, remember that.